It's more a situation of honor and status. What kind of career? Everybody believes, oh, they got the best career. They're all really into it. They got everything. They've got the glamour, the glory. They're there, but they may be there, but they may not be at home much. There may be there may be dishonest dealings to get there. There may be great idealistic works, but the challenge is to be responsible and dedicated with Neptune up in the 10th. But there's so many temptations and deceptions. You're at work. How many people are going to be saints at work? How many people are ripping off or bending corners here, or not honest here, or confused there? And do you align with it, or do you stand up against it? Ooh, what do you do? Are you going to be the same, or what happens? So Neptune is a test that comes. It brings that test around honor, and the gullibility, and the challenge of conscientiousness. You've done the right thing, or you haven't done the right thing. Something went wrong. You didn't tell the boss. Everybody else likes you because you didn't tell the boss, but you're not living honestly. You're getting paid by the boss. You tell the boss and all friends hate you, but you told the boss and you got your respect. So puzzles where Neptune are, but challenges of being simple, being honest, being clear, or creating guilt, sorrows, dependencies, becoming pathetic. I'm this way because they did that, so I'll never be able to do that. You said so I can never do this. So it can cause guilt or blame. So it can be guilty, it can cause guilt. I don't want to do really either. You want to be clear, not blaming. Blame. That's a Neptune. That's a good Neptune standard. No blame. Oh, no blaming what you say. No blaming what you spend. No blaming who you project. No blaming how you your conscience. No blaming with the friends. No blame with your status. No blame keeps you out of guilt. Keeps you out of sorrows. Out of sloth, out of laziness. But boy, you have a bit of drugs or alcohol or any kind of dependency or really extreme situation, this Neptune becomes activated and becomes much more alive and much more insidious. And then it throws its energy to affect everything else. So what kind of work? Possibly social work, a dedicated cause. If someone had a job that's working in a hospital or helping other people, well, that would be good work for Neptune up in the 10th. But then they're always going to think, I don't want to be doing this. It's like, I'm an actor, but I'm working in the restaurant. I'm working this, I'm serving you, but I'm not really a waiter. You know, like there can be illusions too. Or people get a whole degree and they're driving a Uber cab because they can't find a job that pays them for what they're capable of. Haunting. Again, the 9th house of ethics, there's a tendency to be totally moralistic and fanatical, or really guilt-ridden. And I believe that God wants everything and it will save, Jesus will save you. Or it can be, I don't believe in anything. Give me a drink, give me something I believe, I'll just do whatever. It can be the negation of that exactly. And someone can have those wrong ethics and still hold on to there. How do you change the philosophy of a chronic alcoholic or street person or whatever? But usually reasons why they're there. But it's easy to blame. It's hard to develop your own proper ethics. That's Neptune. And the temptations to him. I have so much cause, but you walk past someone who's dying on the street because they look like they're just a street person. That's not a very good ethic. Whoa. Okay. When Neptune's in the 8th house of trust, who's honest? How are the energies that are used? If one person puts energy, the other person takes it out, that's not a valid option. You know, both people have to be putting, both people have to decide what's right or wrong, how energies are used. Both people have to trust each other. If one people's ripping off the other person's energy, either whether it's by affair or having friends they don't have, it's like there's many ways you can break the trust. But if you break the trust of a relationship, there's sorrows and guilt. It's very difficult to fix it. So there's temptations that come up and complications that come up around. You might be married to someone who's supposed to inherit a fortune, but then something happens in the family and they don't get it. There's some dishonesty that comes up around it, or you have to be dishonest to get it. There's a Neptune puzzle in that 8th house. Also, you have the kids. What school do they go to? What you're willing to pay for? You know, are you together in a friendship, in a partnership? And how much of your joint money goes to support your friends or your partner's friends? Does more go to your friends? Does more go to her friends or his friends? You know, like how things are shared. So many temptations. And it's important to be simple, conscientious, sincere, not dishonest or deceptive or evasive. And from that very simple little statement, so many other stories can build up. You can read any book or any story, and you'll see how these things will show, oh, there's this Neptune trust issue. Like you'll see these planets coming in inside of any story. I had to give a lecture once to the Harlequin Romance Writers of Canada at their annual conference, and I just pulled up how to maintain the character of a person through a story and not break the character. And I said, well, astrology is a perfect way of seeing how character maintains itself over life and through a story. And if you have someone who's the impulsive Aries and suddenly halfway through they're being very cautious, rational, practical, it's going to break the story. You have to follow through with the theme. So, I mean, this language can be applied in many ways. We're applying it to people, to horoscopes, to behavior, and how you can sense these energies, how people experience it, and how you can assess what's good or bad in it. So Neptune in the 7th house, it can imply codependent relationships or deceptive relationships or evasive relationships or feeling I never meet the person I'll ever meet. Again, nobody's ever good enough. I'm with someone, I'm dreaming about being someone else. The confusions or complications are going to become in partnerships. As soon as you're with someone, you're dreaming of someone else, or you're with someone, you're over-dedicated and you're clingy and the partner can't put up with it, so you can drive them away by being too much. Like Neptune is funny. It's a puzzle. And wherever it is, you're going to have to work to keep things simple, to not get the sorrow or the guilt that come along with it. In the 6th house, again, it could imply allergies or health, confusing health problems, but it implies a need to be dedicated, perhaps in healing and helping others. But there's going to be confusion. Well, I don't want to get that skill right now. I didn't do it right now. And you may have to get it at some point so you can help people with it. 5th house of personal performance, Neptune there. It's a dreamy, creative, dramatic performance. Wow, great for an artist. But that's the same thing as a little boy demanding mom's attention and being fanatical and going overboard about it. You got to give it to your song if they don't get it. Same thing as a lover just demanding all the attention, being really high maintenance, demanding everything. And they're so wonderful. They're the Adonis to be there or whatever, or the Venus that you got, and you say, yeah, okay, but come on, like things can go overboard. The temptations are there. It's over dramatic. You tend to believe the other person was so great for you, or you were so great for them, and the performance was perfect. How do you ever replace it? How could they leave? How could it change? Or you believe in your kids too much. You want your kid to be the hockey star, and he grows up and wants to be the ballerina or the figure skater. You know, like, well, it can get complicated. I'm just touching simple little things. 4th house, it's down in the depth. One has to feel right here. Down. Yeah. Okay, so in the 4th house, it's about security. So really, it's about meditation, security. How simple can you live? How dedicated? How open can you be? How transcendent can you be? At the same time, it implies a confused, polluted, distorted, questionable home environment. So you're not going to be able to find that security until you live simply. And you get rid of all the clutter and all the deceptive things. And that includes guilt to parents until you go past the guilt of your family, blaming yourself for the difficulties that happened to your parents or to people you live with. So so in going through the planets and the houses, the exercise was to understand the houses better and to see how each planet works. We're really getting to know the planet better at each of these things. So I'm really working to increase the awareness of how a planet functions. At the same time, I'm trying to show you how you use the signs in one way and the houses in another very different way. And a lot of people in traditional astrology in the West anyway, Aries is like the 1st house is like Mars. They jump them all together and they don't see the dimension. They just say Neptune's in the 1st or in Aries or it's an aspect, a square. It's going to be just like, it's going to be difficulties to your identity. You lose too much information if you do that. It's such a subtle poem and there's so much insight that once you see this insight, you're far more prepared to relate to anyone. If your intentions are good, you'll relate in a good way. If your intentions are bad, then that will magnify in it, and there'll be its results. But life is all about relationships. until you come to your inner silence or your inner peace. When you get to inner peace, none of this means anything. You get beyond it. But while we're in the world and we're dealing with things, this is so useful. It's such an incredible poem. It's such, and every time you come out, you see something different. It expands to something else. So I've just talked for a couple hours right through all of these things. I do each week, but I have experiences with people in each of these things. It's not hard for me to talk about it. It's, if there's a failure, it's, I could expand each of these so much, but it would take an hour or a day to just do one house. And who's going to sit through a class to go through one planet and one house and go through all of those? You're talking thousands of classes. You get to that from your own experience. Yeah, okay. So, and you could, with any of the keywords, you pick up any of the keywords, first has identity, appearance, personality. Neptune's going to magnify it. It's going to tempt it. It's going to idealize it. It's going to, whoa, something's not as it seems there. It's going to be dramatized or guilty. You know, same way. So all of these keywords, you just work the same way. You see the planets affecting those things. Neptune is tempting it to see if you can be sincere or if you're going to be deceptive, if you're going to be a weak character. Okay, so this is it for. I think we're about there. Yeah, this is it for tonight. For Neptune, next week we're dealing with Pluto, the truth and consequences, the harsh reality planet, the auditor general, the confrontation planet, and how it's affecting each house and affects areas of your chart. So we're going to start from there. I should mention that the planets and aspects, I'm just going to continue the next set of planets and aspects over starting the following week. And it's the same thing. It's a couple $100, but we're just, I'm going to keep it going. We're almost finished this. Once you've gone through the planets like this, you don't have to go through this all again. It's in you. Then when you start putting together on the planets, you learn how to use them in more specific ways. But you got the whole package. So we're almost there. The stress planets, the aspects tell how much stress is involved in how you deal with each planet. That's really useful to know. Okay, so anyways, next week's Pluto. Thank you. I'll see you then. Okay, bye. Okay, stop recording.